There are a lot of different fertilizer spreaders on the market. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the only one that I buy for my lawn care company. This is the Lesco Fertilizer Spreader. It's one that has an 80-pound capacity, and to put it in perspective, I own 60 of these for our lawn care company. And full disclosure, I am not sponsored by Lesco. I've paid for all of these out of my own pocket, and I'm making this review because I love this fertilizer spreader. It's the only one that our company has bought to date, and it's the only one they're ever going to buy again. So these, first and foremost, Canadian price between $500 and $600 Canadian. And one of the best features of this is that every single part you see here is interchangeable. If a wheel goes, you can replace the wheel. If a cotter pin goes, you can replace the cotter pin. If the opening latch or any of the filters, the screen filter gets damaged, or this waterproof cover gets damaged, you can replace it. You can buy it from your local landscape supply center without having to go buy a full new spreader. This machine won't give you any issues for an entire season, and then I just recommend on an annual basis maintaining some things. The reason we like this is that it feels fantastic. The maneuverability of this is super slick, and it makes a very, very even spread. As you know, spreading fertilizer, overlap and spreading too much in some areas or not enough in others is a game changer. Like, that's not good, essentially, because if you over apply in one spot, you risk burning the lawn, and if you under apply in other spots, you're not getting that full green. And the last thing you want is to fertilize your lawn and have some areas thick and green, other parts just kind of patchy and sparse, and some areas just straight up dead. So we want to make sure that we have very even coasts, and this fertilizer spreader just does this. Right away, we have this cover, which not only is very good for waterproofing, but as you drive your truck and making sure that a lot of your fertilizer granular products aren't falling out. This thing, we don't have to put any clamp on, we just put it on right there. It hugs and snugs very nicely to the spreader so that nothing falls on the road as we are driving. As you open it though, and you want to come take a look here, right away, one of the first things we have is a protective screen. This screen is just to make sure that no big chunks of anything goes through into the hopper and then out. So this is an easy cover that just through an adjustment of 4 knobs can be taken out, and like anything can be replaced parts. But down here, as you move, you'll notice there's an agitator, and this is making sure that your fertilizer isn't getting clogged up. You'll all know those cheap fertilizer spreaders where over time, let's say a little bit of moisture gets in there, these holes start to clog up. This agitator, which is controlled by, I believe, the right wheel, really just makes that thing move so that it's always breaking up the fertilizer as you go. Now, as a lawn care company, I like the fact that there's lots of advertising space on these. We put our company name on there too. It is a Lesco brand, but we own Yard Dogs Lawn Care here in Canada, and we have 17 trucks that go out every single day with 2 of these per truck. And we have a ton of extra ones for different products there too. So we've used a lot of these. It maneuvers very well. If we want to turn it over here, we can see here, we have a way to actually cover one of the holes if you need to adjust your spread rate. This, you can just pull up there and cover one of the 3 holes that happens. We have our gearbox differential, and we have different parts that with good grease nipples, if you need to adjust things as you go, make sure that this thing is good. But I always recommend, especially if you're a company and you work with different products, make sure you have a little bit of a legend here that shows what kind of setting you put down for the different products that you offer. Speaking of settings, this fertilizer spreader has 30 to choose from. All the way, we want to open things up so we have lots of applications, or down, very easy peasy to maneuver things and tighten it. All Lesco spreaders also come with a calibration key so that you can make sure that if the setting is 30, you can stick the key in to the hole and just make sure that it's all adjusted properly. You have an awesome guard right here if you want to make sure that no fertilizer is going onto the sidewalk. As you're pushing by the sidewalk, you'd put that guard down to make sure that's not happening. Just remember, even though you put the guard down, the output is still the same, so you want to be careful not to over apply in some areas. And then it's simple, on, you're good. Shut off, there we go. And this thing, just super, super comfortable to walk around. We're not very lightweight, and holding 80 pounds means that most fertilizer bags usually come in 50 pounds, so it can hold an entire bag of fertilizer, so you don't have to load up halfway in a lawn and run out. Now, a big thing is that with these fertilizer spreaders, you can get usually a caddy rack of some sort. We got these custom dual ones made for us, but I believe at most landscape supply centers, you can at least find a single caddy spreader there, holders, because otherwise you have to go to your truck, put down the tailgate, Oh, that is a weird one. Today we are not going to be putting down the tailgate, but with most trucks and spreaders, you'd have to actually pick this heavy, we have 80 pounds of product plus the weight of the spreader. This is a commercial grade spreader. It's quite heavy, so put it in the back of the tailgate is going to break your back after just a few jobs. But with a nice caddy like this, easy peasy. We can just mount right here, get it on there, then with the pin, have this secured. You can have two of them side by side if you're working with different products. We usually work with like a fertilizer here and a super juice here, or you might be doing seeding, but you can drive down and these things aren't going anywhere. It's not going to go out and hit Grandma Karen behind you. These are holding down the product stayed in there. And this is the only fertilizer spreader you'll ever need to buy because this thing will last forever. Each truck does 30 jobs per day, and for an entire season, that means that this is going out on over 1,000 lawns throughout the season. And we only have to replace things every couple of years, a tire here and there, a gearbox every now and then, but these things work. Any issues though, you can just always go swap out the parts. Very sturdy design. This thing is awesome, a very even spread too. This is a cone spread essentially, and this is the only fertilizer spreader we're ever gonna keep buying at this company, and we've been through a lot, and even though they don't sponsor us, I gotta say this is one heck of a fertilizer spreader. So get yours today.